then they were going to be in different locations throughout our community that were very undesirable for neighborhoods. And so the pushback that the city council was met with led them to basically scrapping the whole kit and caboodle. And so the ordinance that had been discussed in February, that was supposed to be voted on last night, and with each read got more and more complicated and more confusing and causing a lot of angst with the community, basically was just scrapped. And now what we have is preliminary language that the council agreed on last night in a vote of 5-2 that the staff will now take and turn it in to some legal ordinance where, let me tell you, let me pull up sort of the preliminary language of what we're working with here. So in 4 different parts, when the staff comes back May 11th, that's going to be the next time council will be discussing yet again outdoor living and how we're going to remedy it, solve it, fix it, make it better. This is a 4-part preliminary mock-up for staff to take and do something with. The first direction from the council on their motion last night was to direct staff to suspend enforcement of council-adopted TOLO and return to the council with the recommended implementation plan that I'm reading now. So, direct staff to engage with the community. That was a big thing last night. We had a lot of people calling in saying, I wish I would have known about this. I wish you would have come to me. I wish you would have engaged with the community to let us know that you were thinking about popping up tents in the Seabright neighborhood or right out front of my house on my sidewalk. I wish you would have told me that that was an idea that the council was going to agree on. So that's the direction staff has been given, to make sure that in whatever ordinance is concocted, basically, that you will have community engagement. Now, I want to just quickly segue to all the people that called in last night saying, I had no idea, I didn't know this was happening, I wish you would have informed me. I do have to say, pay attention. You know, like, really, have you been under a rock? Because you've probably been driving around and you've probably been seeing all the encampments, all the people sleeping on the shoulder of the freeway, all the other people that are in the parks. Unless you haven't left your house at all, which maybe some people fall into that category, you will know that there's a problem. And seeing the problem means maybe you should have reached out at some point and said, hey, what are you doing about that problem? Hey, what's the solution here? Are we just going to continue business as usual? And then maybe you would have heard back from somebody, and then you could have been engaged to know what's happening. Even if you didn't do that, and you just happened to go onto Facebook or Instagram or Nextdoor or had a conversation with a neighbor, I could imagine at some point you would have heard somewhere in passing, the council's discussing this. There will be an ordinance that they're going to talk about. So I guess what I'm saying is, I am very aware that the council has tried in years past to engage the community. They do this. Remember the blueprint for housing a few years back, 2017, 16? I can't remember her name right now, but she was the mayor. She sort of spearheaded the whole thing. It was a blueprint for housing in the city of Santa Cruz. They worked on it for a good year, and they presented it at the Loudon Nelson Center, but before they had like many community meetings. Everyone got together, everyone got to be heard, everyone got to put their 2 cents in, and here we are with a housing blueprint. My question to you is, what have we done with that? What's happened? Has anything changed? Did anyone take those suggestions of a year-long study? What became of it? The other example I will give to all the people saying, I wish you would have engaged the community, is the cash committee. The cash committee also was put together for a year. Community members and those appointed by council were solutions for how to handle the homeless situation. And they went around and they talked with people and they talked with services and they figured out how best to tackle this program. That's community engagement. Where were you then? So I don't feel bad for these people when they call up and all of a sudden it's like they just pulled their head out of the sand and they're like a chicken with their head cut off, like, oh my God.
Once Upon a Child is in the spring mindset, and they want to pay you cash for your gently used kids' spring and summer styles in sizes infant to youth. So if you've got tees, tanks, shorts, sundresses, and sandals that your little ones have recently outgrown, you're just steps away from a cash payout. See what you can sell today for cash at Once Upon a Child. With 10 locally owned locations to choose from. Click for more information.
freeway by the cemetery, yeah. And I'm gonna build myself a structure. And I'm gonna elevate it, and it's gonna have a floor, and it's gonna have 4 walls, and I'm gonna put a roof on it. And I'm gonna live there. And no one's gonna bother me, and I'm gonna do whatever the heck I wanna do. Because I can! Because I have no money to give the city. I have no tax dollars that I'm giving to the system. I am sucking off of the system. I am going to the churches for my free food. I have good Samaritans that are pulling up on the side of the road and giving me sandwiches and clean socks and fresh needles. I don't need to go anywhere. And I just built myself a nice structure that anybody else living in the city or the county would be scrutinized for over a permit and square footage and zoning. And if the dirt under that structure, God forbid, has some weird...
To remind pet owners that Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge, we decided to make a really cute pet-themed radio commercial. You hear that, puppy? If you could see trying to open this box now and... Oh, the box is filled with kittens! If only there was some way you could see this! Oh, what a glaring oversight.
Get coverage for your pets with an auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included at the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
It's not too late to whip it good. When a good time turns around, you.
Don't you dare pledge allegiance, don't you dare speak of God. Speak of God. Oh, oh, oh. I'm begging for forgiveness. I wanna make a difference, even in the smallest way.
Bodega, Alpha and Omega. Siamese sailors sell celery sandwiches. Sawingabada, sardine platter.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes?
Did you want to try reading that line on the script there?
Oh, yeah, let's see. You can say big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, that one?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm just not warmed up yet. Shouldn't be long. Detector test.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive today.
The marmot mangled by Musha pork pancake.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
Though it's been so long, it brings me back, right back to you. I hope you find the storm that you were chasing. Hope your eyes are still as full of dreams as they were that night when you slipped on those cut-off jeans. When I hear the sound of high-tide thunder, I can see your hair blowing in the breeze. I think about you in that 21 song with a man of me, with a man of me. How you been? I'd love to hear about how you've been. You're the only broken heart I've ever had, and love to have again. I hope you find the storm that you were chasing. Hope your eyes are still as full of dreams as they were that night when you slipped off those cut-off jeans. When I hear the sound of high-tide thunder, I can see your hair blowing in the breeze. I think about you in that 21 song, made a man of me, made a man of me.
It's country that kicks it up with today's hottest country hits. Big Kickin' Country from 113.fm.
If you like more, then check out the Dunkin' Snackin' and More menu. Now with even more to snackify you, like our new grilled cheese melts, melty white cheddar and American cheese on toasty sourdough, or try one with savory black forest ham. But there's more, like stuffed bagel minis, sweet black pepper snack and bacon, croissant stuffers, and delicious golden hash browns. Enjoy them with a refreshing iced coffee. The Dunkin' Snackin' and More menu. So much to snackify you. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Kuntz. It's the back left tire of your RV calling. Wanted to give you a heads up that I'm gonna blow out on the highway later today.
Wait, what?
Says here I'm gonna burst in the middle of rush hour.
Well, can we reschedule?
Sorry, our policy states that once we're scheduled to burst, we have to. We really pride ourselves on our commitment to blowouts.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
Do you want a text confirmation when I burst?
Think I'll notice.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motor. Also presents basic policy starting at $79 a year. Progressive Motorcycle for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy is not available in all states.
Police officers know it only takes a few seconds of someone texting and driving for things to go terribly wrong. That's why officers are increasing enforcement of texting and driving laws. So put your phone down when driving, or be prepared for the consequences. You drive, you text, you pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Now, back to the biggest country hits of today on 113.FM's Big Kickin' Country Channel.
Steer the wheel